Think you've got what it takes to survive the most punishing games on Nintendo Switch? We're talking classic 16-bit chaos, instant death platformers, and relentless action that will test your reflexes, patience, and sanity. From runaway bullets to brutal bosses, these games aren't here to hold your hand. They're here to break you and make you love every second of it. Strap in, grab your controller, and let's dive into 11 of the hardest, most addictive challenges on Switch. Ever wanted to feel like you're starring in a lost 1993 cyberpunk anime, except the director hates you and keeps yelling "again" every time you die? Steel Assault looks like it crawled straight out of the 16-bit golden era. Bold pixels, chunky explosions, and a soundtrack that sounds like it's powered by pure electricity. But beneath that nostalgic glow is something far more intense: discipline. This game is built around precision spacing, deliberate movement, and enemies placed exactly where they'll mess you up if you panic. You play as Taro Takahashi, armed with a plasma whip and a whole lot of determination. The whip isn't just for combat, it's your mobility lifeline. Swinging across gaps feels amazing until you mistime it by half a second and plummet. And the train stages? Unreal. They're chaotic, cinematic, and brutal. Turrets fire from awkward angles, soldiers rush you, platforms shift. You don't just react, you anticipate. This isn't about button mashing, it's about rhythm. Steel Assault isn't unfair, it's structured. It demands you slow down mentally, even when the action looks fast. When you finally clear a stage that crushed you earlier, it doesn't feel lucky, it feels earned, like you actually leveled up as a player. And that's old school design done right. Imagine being engineered to enforce tyranny, and then deciding you've had enough. Moonrider carries strong 16-bit energy, bright pixel art, tight level design, and a killer synth-heavy soundtrack. But it's not just nostalgic, it's aggressive. You move fast, dashing, slicing, wall jumping, but the enemies move just as fast. This game feels like it studied the design philosophy of classic action platformers and said, let's sharpen everything. Bosses don't just have patterns, they escalate. They force you to adapt mid-fight. There's that moment when you think you've got the rhythm down, and then a second attack phase kicks in and completely humbles you. It's not mean, it's testing your composure. The level structure encourages replaying stages to unlock upgrades, but even then you still need skill. No amount of power-ups replaces timing. Moonrider doesn't overwhelm you randomly, it trains you. And once you sync up with its flow, you feel unstoppable. Until the next boss reminds you who's really in charge. You ever feel your heartbeat speed up because the screen is completely full of bullets? Super Hydorah is a pure 16-bit shoot-'em-up experience. No fluff, no modern hand-holding, just waves of enemies, branching paths, and weapon choices that genuinely matter. This isn't about reflexes alone, it's about preparation. Picking the wrong loadout before a stage can cost you everything. Enemy formations are deliberate. Bosses are mechanical beasts that fill the screen and test your positioning constantly. And when you lose your power-ups right before a boss, it hurts deeply. But that's the arcade DNA talking. What makes Hydorah stand out is how fair it is. Every death teaches you something. You start recognizing patterns, safe zones, timing windows. By the time you clear a brutal stage, it feels like choreography. Chaos becomes calculated, and that transformation, that's the magic of old school difficulty. Let's be real. If a game kills you in one hit and smiles about it, that's not cruelty, that's Contra. The Contra Anniversary Collection on Switch isn't just a bundle of old games. It's a time capsule from an era when arcades were designed to drain your quarters and your confidence. The 16-bit entries, especially Contra 3, take everything that made the original brutal and turn the dial up. Enemies spawn aggressively, the screen scrolls fast, bullets don't politely give you reaction time, and bosses, they don't just have health bars, they take up half the screen and fill the rest with projectiles. What makes Contra punishing isn't randomness, it's memorization. The game expects you to fail, then learn, then try again. Enemy placements are deliberate, attack waves are rehearsed chaos. Once you recognize the pattern, the panic fades. And yes, you'll absolutely think, I jumped. We've all been there. The hitboxes are tight, and sometimes your ego takes more damage than your character. But here's the thing, when you clear a stage without taking a hit, you feel like a legend, because Contra doesn't give out wins casually. It's pure arcade DNA, unforgiving, loud, and unapologetic. But if you stick with it, you realize something powerful. It's not trying to break you, it's trying to sharpen you. You know that feeling when your armored tank gets destroyed and now you have to survive on foot? Yeah, welcome to Blaster Master 02. This sequel takes the hybrid formula of side-scrolling tank combat and top-down exploration and deepens it. You're not just shooting everything in sight. You're managing mobility, understanding enemy behaviors, and switching mental gears constantly. Tank sections feel powerful, but they're not easy. Tight corridors, ambushes, environmental hazards, they force you to maneuver carefully. Then, suddenly, you're on foot in top-down arenas where bosses unleash layered attack patterns that require sharp positioning and calm under pressure. The difficulty ramps smartly. Early stages teach mechanics. Later stages test mastery. Bosses gain multiple phases, introducing attacks that force you to adopt mid-fight instead of relying on muscle memory. There's always that moment in a boss fight where you think, okay, this is manageable, and then the music shifts slightly and you realize phase 2 just started. What makes it compelling is that upgrades help, but they don't save you. Skill still decides everything. Blaster Master 02 is thoughtful punishment. It challenges both reflexes and strategy, and when you finally outmaneuver a boss that wrecked you 3 times in a row, that's earned confidence.
No time!
Anaconda. She knows the meaning of life. That's why she can take it away so easily.
Neon lights, corrupt gangs, synth music blasting, and somehow, you're the calmest person in the room. Huntdown wears its 16-bit inspiration proudly, but it plays like a refined evolution. Unlike traditional run-and-guns, it introduces a cover system. That changes everything. Standing in the open, you're done. You need to duck, slide, reposition constantly. Enemy AI is aggressive. They flank, they rush, they fire from angles that force you to move. Boss encounters feel like stage performances, multiple waves, shifting arenas, dramatic music cues. What makes Huntdown punishing isn't overwhelming chaos, it's tactical pressure. You have to read the room, prioritize threats, time reloads. And the dialogue? It's unapologetically cheesy. Action movie one-liners delivered with absolute seriousness. Somehow, it makes the brutality more fun. The game never feels cheap. Every death comes with clarity. You stood in the wrong place. You rushed the wrong target. You got greedy. Huntdown is stylish punishment. Tough, precise, and deeply satisfying once you start playing smarter instead of faster.
You ever walk into a room in a beat-em-up and immediately think, yeah, this was a mistake? Fight and Rage resurrects the golden era of arcade brawlers but adds modern depth. This isn't just mash, punch, and hope. Enemies attack together. They grab, flank, interrupt combos. The combat system has layers, juggles, counters, advanced inputs, character-specific techniques. At higher difficulties, the game becomes almost strategic. You're managing crowd spacing constantly. Backed into a corner, you're in trouble. And the branching paths? They add a replay value, but they also ramp difficulty unpredictably. Some routes are clearly designed for veterans. Button mashing works for about 15 seconds. After that, the game politely and repeatedly corrects you. But when you finally string together a perfect combo chain and clear a room without getting touched, it feels incredible. Fight and Rage isn't just hard, it's skill expressive. It challenges you to improve, not just survive.
Imagine training your whole life to be a ninja, only to discover you're also part of a time-traveling prophecy. The Messenger begins as a tight 8-bit action platformer before transforming into a 16-bit Metroidvania. That shift isn't just visual, it expands exploration, complexity, and challenge. Platforming requires exact timing. Enemy placement is surgical. Bosses introduce patterns that evolve just when you feel comfortable. But what separates it from other punishing games is tone. It's funny, self-aware. The shopkeeper's dialogue breaks tension just enough to keep frustration from boiling over. You'll die, a lot, but somehow you're smiling through it because the game winks at you while doing it. Mechanically, though, it's serious. Later areas demand mastery of movement abilities, especially chaining air momentum precisely. The Messenger balances challenge and charm beautifully. It's tough, but it never forgets to entertain you along the way. No tutorials, no minimap, just steel, silence, and spikes waiting for you. Cyber Shadow channels the spirit of classic ninja platformers with modern smoothness. Tight jumps, fast enemies, deadly environmental hazards. What makes it punishing is consistency. Spikes kill instantly. Enemies fire in precise arcs. Bosses require memorizing sequences and staying composed. There's no fluff here. Every level is a gauntlet. You will start respecting individual pixels. That one tiny spike? Yeah, it counts. The game gradually adds new mechanics, projectiles, mobility upgrades, but they increase complexity too. Cyber Shadow is disciplined difficulty. It tests focus, patience, and precision, and rewards all three.
88, time is the currency of revenge. For a world left in ruins, a world destroyed by nuclear fire. Spend it well, or start again. Who are you?
You've got 18 minutes before your heart explodes. No tutorials, no mercy, just climb. Black Future 88 blends 16-bit arcade chaos with roguelike unpredictability. Every run is procedurally generated, which means you can't memorize enemy placement or perfect a route. You adopt or you restart. Rooms flood with enemies fast, shielded shooters, aerial threats, aggressive melee units. Combat becomes a rhythm of dash timing, vertical movement, reload management, and weapon switching. The wrong reload at the wrong moment, that's your run. The 18-minute timer adds constant pressure. Do you explore for better weapons and upgrades or push forward before time drains you? Every decision feels risky. You'll have runs where everything clicks, perfect weapon drops, clean movement, and then one mistimed dodge ends it all. Frustrating? Absolutely. Addictive? Even more. Black Future 88 is fast, stylish, and brutally fair. It doesn't just test reflexes, it tests composure under pressure. And when you finally clear a run, it feels earned. Do you like hurting other people? One wrong move, one bullet, and you're dead. No health bar, no mercy. That's Hotline Miami in a nutshell. At first glance, it looks simple. A top-down perspective, small, neon-soaked levels. But the simplicity is a trap. Every room is a puzzle disguised as chaos. You study enemy patrol routes, chain silent takedowns, and experiment with masks that alter your abilities. Death isn't punishment, it's instant feedback. You fail, you respawn immediately, and you try again. That fast restart loop keeps your adrenaline spiking and forces you to master timing, positioning, and risk assessment. The soundtrack isn't just background noise, it's a heartbeat. Pulsing synth drives your pace, makes every movement feel urgent, and amplifies the tension. Even when you're moving perfectly, every new door could be a trap that ends your run instantly. Hotline Miami is brutal, stylish, and unforgiving, but it's precise. It rewards focus, rhythm, and patience, turning punishment into mastery. Once you find your flow, clearing a room feels like a violent ballet, chaotic, intense, and incredibly satisfying.